Morning. Today is Monday, February 14th, St. Valentine's Day. And I'm not going to talk about love today or romance, unless you consider the fact that billions of dollars is passing hands in litigious actions. So maybe if we're considering the love of money, then we could consider this a good Valentine's Day. But it's not a good Valentine's Day. And I want to tell you about a car accident that occurred in Nassau County that you probably never heard of because it's not Nassau County, New York, it's Nassau County, Florida. Now, last week I talked about the Boy Scout suit that ended in the Boy Scout having to pay $2.6 billion to the Boy Scouts that were being molested by the Scout leaders. But that was 80,000 people. In this case, the one I'm going to talk about now, it's one family that received $1 billion, broken up into two pieces, $900 million from one organization and $100 million from another organization. Anyhow, what happened on August 20, this jury came in with this $1 billion settlement, and the accident happened on Interstate 95 in, as I said, Nassau County, Florida. It was a huge accident. The first part of the accident was when a truck smashed into some cars, caused a massive backup on the highway. Now, the driver of that truck didn't even have a license, really. And his name was Ragatento. And this is not the first time this guy has been involved in a crash. And prior to the crash, he was paying attention to his cell phone and not paying attention to the road ahead of it. Now, this is a guy who had amassed in his driving career a long list of moving violations, including running away from way stations, logbook violations, rear-end crashes, a multitude of crashes this guy was responsible for. But in any event, he created this mess on the highway. And about 90 minutes later, they hadn't cleared any of this up by then. Another driver in a truck, not paying attention, right, smashed into a car which a college student was parked waiting for the mess to clear up so he could get back home. The car was demolished. The kid was killed, and his family sued. They were the winners of this suit. The driver of that second truck, Yadwinder Sanja, he was found negligent, with resulted in the crash here. And before the crash, Sanja had driving for 25 hours from Montreal to Miami. And he was on cruise control, 70 miles an hour. And he didn't hit his brakes until 1 second before the crash. So obviously he was in the fog while he was driving. And the result of this is this $1 billion settlement. Now, why is it $1 billion? It's to teach people a lesson, the lawyers said. We have to teach people a lesson to pay attention when they're on the road. So we're suing these companies. One of the companies is responsible for $900 million, and the second company is responsible for $100 million of this payout. And if you understand the way these over-the-road companies operate, you can understand why people like Zanja and Ragatenko are still driving. They are independent contractors. In many cases, they're not employed by the company they're driving for. They're gig workers. Sometimes they own their own truck and they farm themselves out to companies, and sometimes they don't own their own truck. They just go to some place and say, I'll take that ride or that load, and they give it to them. So that's another side of this thing. But the point I'm trying to make here is the billions of dollars that are being won by lawsuits. But are those billions of dollars being paid. Will these two companies be in existence and pay this family the $1 billion? That's the big question in my mind. In a company, a trucking company, and I don't know how many employees they have, and I don't know how much business they're really doing, but $900 million is a lot of money to have to pay out. So I have my doubts about this family getting the money. My doubts. And it's a terrible thing to lose your son in a situation like that. It's bad trucking companies that make life hard for the good trucking companies. And we have a lot of trucking companies in this country. And not all of them are large organizations. So I say that these settlements are getting out of hand. And I don't dispute the fact that $1 billion is probably justified in this case. But the question is, will they ever collect? What good is a settlement if the injured party can't collect it or won't collect it or may wait years to collect it? You know what they would do? They'll just sit and wait and see if the money comes in. I don't know what recourse they have to get this money. So these settlements are getting crazy. Maybe it's the times, maybe it's all because of the pandemic and stuff, I don't know. Keep in mind that this is just one example of our litigious society. We are a country that will sue and sue and sue. Now that the rewards are getting ridiculous, the suing will not stop. So I don't know what to tell you about our society with respect to suing. It's just a way of life in this country. And we saw how it worked at the highest level of government in this country, where activities were delayed and delayed by suits that had no value, that could not be won, actually. So in any event, I leave you with that this morning. And it wasn't in Nassau County, New York. And I didn't even know there was a Nassau County in Florida. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.